Now, somebody who should know all about love is Dr. Atiya Jones, who joins me on the line now. Hello there.
Hi there, Yasmin. How are you?
I'm very well, and I'm very intrigued to read that your job title is marriage strategist.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that is just brilliant. We'll come to that in a moment. But let me just ask you, your personal and professional opinion, does love at first sight exist?
I'm going to answer that yes and no.
Oh.
And one of the Twitter followers kind of touched on it a little bit, so I'll explain it later.
Oh, okay. What was that with the lust thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So what does a marriage strategist do?
Well, a marriage strategist, immediately a lot of people think, this is someone who deals with people who are married. But as a marriage strategist, I help people to connect the dots first with themselves. So I put together strategies and plans of actions working with them to customize basically a program that works for their individual situation, whether that is they want to connect with their higher self or whether they would like to cultivate a relationship with someone outside of themselves.
So this is not just about, okay, you're on a date, you're dating. This is way before that, isn't it?
This is way before that, right, and way beyond that.
Okay, I'm going to tap into something you just said there about connecting with yourself. Do you think you have to be a fully, and I'm going to use an English word here, and I realize you're American, but do you have to be sorted in yourself, as we would say, before you can really meet someone?
No, absolutely not. But you have to be on the path to sorting yourself, because part of you evolving and becoming ultimately the person that you are destined to become, it takes your opposite energy to help you bring that about.
Right. Another word there, opposite. Do opposites attract?
Yes, but sometimes same is what keeps you together.
Right. Yes. And how do you know? How do you know which is better for you? Again, I guess you have to know yourself pretty well.
Well, when you say how do you know which is better for you, specifically, what are you asking?
When someone, would you know innately that you actually would be better off with someone who is more like you than more different to you, more opposite to you?
Well, that's a very good question. I don't think you really know that, because initially when people meet or when there's an attraction, usually it is an opposite attraction. And it's through the process of growing and learning one another that you actually begin to synergize and ultimately become kind of like in one accord, begin to walk in agreement. So it's the complementary aspects of a person that tends to do well together. So in one sense, they're like the complement or the female or masculine version of themselves.
Yeah.
And then those two energies work together to create one dynamic whole.
I love it. This is great. I'm out there. I'm rethinking my entire strategy myself now. So let's go back to that tweet that we had that said that, didn't say who it's from, Moa Meadow, something like that. Moa Meadow, have I got that right? Yes. Anyway, lust at first sight exists. Love takes a bit longer.
It's really interesting, because when I was asked the question, do I believe at first sight? And I answer the question as yes and no. First of all, I want to just touch on what is love. Love is an infinite, divine, and unlimited experience that unifies the person to the quintessential essence of their own supreme being.
Wow.
It's a force that goes so far beyond everything that we can even comprehend. And yet, it's the creative force of everything that we see. And regardless of what the situation, everything is created in the spirit of love. And regardless of what actually is manifested, at the root or the aim and purpose of it is to bring about ultimately only good for that person and for the universe.
So by that, and I'm putting this very much in lay terms for me, is that if lust is there first, that's not a bad thing.
Well, it's not a bad thing. But it's when you can't move beyond that. See, when a person, oftentimes what it is the first sight is actually lust at first sight. And it fails to, it's like an addiction. And it fails to really connect on any level beyond one's physical desires. So when a person, having real sight is about being able to look beyond what is carnally or materially understood to see with deeper eyes. And so to have spiritual sight or being able to perceive from a more infinite space. Love is infinite. So to experience love at first sight would require something much more profound.
Yeah.
And I agree with the person who tweeted real love is nurtured over time.
Yes.
And what some people refer to as love, like I said, is actually lust. Mm-hmm. Now, but this is important to understand because this is where I get to the yes, love at first sight is possible. In the beginning, when a person sees, and I'm talking about in the physical sense, when a person sees, there may be an attraction. And that attraction it can be lust. However, there are many cases when there is a very strong spark immediately upon seeing a person, and there's an immediate connection. In these cases, the attraction can be so compelling, it can be so intense and almost familiar, like I've known this person.
Yes.
And sometimes it's mutual, sometimes it's not. And so neither of them may understand why, I feel like I've known you all my life. There may be those feelings like, I really know this person. And so when one truly experiences love at first sight, there is this recognition of something that goes far beyond the surface of what is consciously understood. So if you take a stranger, consciously, on a conscious level, it may be a stranger to you. Yet intuitively, it may be something familiar. And while consciously it is a stranger, subconsciously it is someone that you've already known and have known for eons of time. Maybe not physically, but spiritually. And intuitively, you recognize them. And therefore, you may get these feelings that we've met before, when in this lifetime you may not have met at all. But in this case, you experience real love that has been nurtured over time.
Is that what I mean, some people might not agree with that because they may not believe in, spirituality or past lives or any of that. But for a lot of people, I guess that would explain away that feeling of, gosh, I feel like I've known you forever.
Yes. Yes.
This is endlessly fascinating. Can I ask you, Dr. Atiya Jones,
Sure.
because I don't know, but given that you're a marriage strategist, are you wedded yourself?
I am married. And I've been married to an amazing Brit for the last 7 years.
Some of them are all right, Some of them are all right if you train them well. So with a marriage strategist, is it the case that you're helping people before they're married to find the one, or can you come in sort of part way through a marriage that may be experiencing difficulties and help reset the balance?
I do both. Right. I actually do both. And when I'm dealing with a couple to help them reset the balance, what I do is help them to connect with themselves and create a circumstances that is complementary or consistent for their particular situation. So when we help people, we help them to tune into the truth of who they are so that when they relate to their mate or their partner, they can create a synergistic relationship where each are being authentically themselves, but are complementary to the relationship, if that makes any sense.
It does. I'm just sitting here, my head spinning about all of these ideas about love and synergies and all of this. Dr. Jones, thank you so much for talking to us. Dr. Atiya Jones there, marriage strategist. Who even knew that was a job? See, we learn together here on Talk Radio.